That's the question as the focal point of today's Motivational Monday segment. Award-winning author Stacy Hawkins Adams leads our discussion this morning. Hi, Stacy. You always come with all the wisdom and motivation on Monday. So good to see you.
You as well.
So I saw this topic, who gets the gift of you? And I like that term, the gift.
Yes.
Of you.
Yes. A lot of times especially we as women, but anyone in general, especially any adult who's helping care for a parent or a child or whomever, maybe you're busy with work, we often are looking at our to-do list in terms of what we have to do for others, where we need to be, all of those things. So this week, the challenge is to take some time to pause and say, what can I gift myself? And again, that could be anything from, we always talk about taking those naps, taking those walks, but really you also should take some time to just sit with yourself and say, in a perfect world, what would I like my life to be like? How can I think about that without any, preconceived notions? And then as I think about that, how do I then begin to shape that life, to gift myself that life?
That's a lot
to sounds like
think
a tall order.
It does sound like a tall order, but I guess, so obviously we would all think about some life where we get to just do the things that we want to do.
Yes.
And that's not realistic for most of us.
Right.
Most of us have to go to work, whether we want to or not. We have to take care of the kids. We have to take care of the house, the pets, the this and that. So I guess it's finding that middle ground.
Yes, and I'm so glad you posed that, because you're right. When we think about this ideal life, that feels impossible. It feels overwhelming. It feels like, why am I wasting my time thinking about that? But I really want you to sit and think with that. And that's what kids do. They dream big, and then we see what happens. As we get older, we don't allow ourselves to dream. So start with the dream, and then let's add in the reality. Well, if I had my plan A, I'd be doing this. But this is my reality, so how do I live this out? Even in living out your reality, how can I carve out 20 minutes to gift myself the space of, maybe I want to take a music lesson? How can I spend an hour watching a movie? How can I give myself the gift of doing something that I wouldn't otherwise do and not feel guilty about it because I should be doing the laundry or I should be preparing dinner for someone else? So it's really saying, yes, this is the big dream. I may not be able to live that out fully, but I can take those bite-sized steps to making my life more meaningful and to realizing that I'm really necessary. And so when I pour into myself, I really am gifting those around me as well.
Well, and I was thinking about this the other day. I was going to lunch with some girlfriends.
Yes.
And I was running late, and I was trying to get it all in, and I went, wait a minute. Why am I worried about putting on makeup and, picking out an outfit or whatever? These girls, we're good friends. We love each other. So I gifted myself that extra time. I said, you know what? I'm going to finish what I'm doing. I'm not going to stress myself out. I'm going to shower. So that's my gift to everybody, is that I did get at least clean. But I just, I went with no makeup on and just threw on some clothes, and they couldn't care less. So sometimes the gift is not forcing yourself to do these things that maybe you think people expect.
Exactly. I love that. Yeah, I think it's deciding what it should be for you. I took a staycation a couple of weeks ago, and with that staycation I was like, all right, I'm gonna just veg out one day, and then I'm gonna finish cleaning this closet that I'm always talking about another day, and then I had this long to-do list of things that needed to happen at home. When I tell you nothing got done other than naps, binge watching one of my favorite streaming channels, and maybe I did do one load of laundry. And I started that guilt, and then I thought, but I probably needed that. So that was gifting myself that time to just lounge around. It's summertime. Enjoy that time, and really just don't feel guilty about taking care of yourself. Yes, we've got the to-do list. Yes, we have deadlines we have to meet. But again, when you can create that pause for yourself, it may not be 3 days like I took. It may be 30 minutes. But as you take that time, it really, really does make a difference. And when my children were really young, that time for me used to be either in the shower, because that was the only time I had to myself, or when I was driving home from work. I would sometimes not turn on the radio, not make a phone call, and give myself an oasis of 20 minutes of silence. That was a gift to myself as well.
I used to do that at pickup.
Yes.
There was a line for pickup for the kids, and I used to like to just be Just be.
Yes.
Just be silent. Just let myself sit and not really think. Sometimes I would think. Sometimes I would just try not to think of anything and just give myself that time.
Yes.
To just be. And I think that's so important, like you said.
Right. So it's the simple things. It sounds overwhelming when I talk about the big idea, but take that big idea and break it down into those bite-sized chunks. I may not be able to do everything, but what can I do to make myself smile, to end this day feeling grateful in some way?
You always just have the best advice. Thank you so much for coming in today. Stacy offers a weekly Motivational Monday newsletter by email. If you're interested in subscribing, you can visit stacyhawkinsadams.com.